Hey guys, it's me CJ over here. Welcome back to another video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about how to tell you are living in a bad Vietnamese neighborhood. Um, so yeah, if you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called as Sujoy in Vietnam. I've been living over here for over 6 years now. I was an English teacher before for over 3.5 years, and then I started my online digital marketing business, and I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. So yeah, howdy neighbor, xin chào neighbor. Okay, so how to tell you are living in a bad Vietnamese neighborhood. Um, Speaking of bad, do you like my badass tattoos? Um, you got the tiger, dragon over here, the Chinese. There's the kiwi, Maui. But I'm just trying to. I really want to get more tattoos done. I love tattoos. Yeah. All right. So, say you are, you are planning to, you've come to Vietnam, or you're going to be staying in Saigon, or you're going to be staying in Hanoi, or any other locations here in Vietnam, or if you are or if you're staying out here in Vietnam for a year or so, and you want to and you want to shift to another location. Um, and let's say that you are you're like a you're trying to live like a local. You want to live in a local Vietnamese community. I'm not talking about, in this case, I'm not talking about renting a studio apartment in a Vin Homes, or those exclusive apartments, but like living just like normal expats, like normal Vietnamese, just because most of the houses over here in Vietnam, like they're always inside some kind of alleys. Like if you're going to different districts over here, like you go to District 4, or if you're in Tan Binh district, or if you're in Binh Tan district. So even in District 1, like there are many houses which are right inside the alleys and everything. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to exclude out District 1, because District 1 is predominantly a very touristy location district, primarily catered for white tourists, actually. Yeah. But let's just say that you want to transfer somewhere else in Ho Chi Minh City. So in this case, I'm going to be talking about Ho Chi Minh City, and of course, it can be applicable even if you're in Hanoi or whatever it is. Okay, so the first one would be poorly maintained property. Okay, so you relocate to you relocate to a home over there, a studio apartment, or and you're seeing that the walls, the electrical equipments, they're kind of a little bit broken, or like when it rains, if it's raining outside, you can see that your walls are becoming wet, or electricity is frequently getting cut in your home, or you're having a lot of water problems. You're not getting water, which is kind of a bit common out here in the countryside. But that's the countryside. Okay, so yeah, so like poorly maintained property, it's not being cleaned up. Things seem to be a bit broken. It looks a bit shabby. So yeah, the second visible sign would be that you're staying in a bad Vietnamese neighborhood would be you're always witnessing a lot of arguments. Okay, so say for example, if you're living in those alleys and you're seeing in the morning or in the afternoon, neighbors are arguing, fighting around, or even late night, like people are drunk and they're arguing, and you know what I mean, right? Getting out of control, maybe calling the cops or something. But predominantly, you're going to be witnessing, like a lot of argumentation, like, two Vietnamese women arguing with each other, or whatever it is. So you're witnessing a lot of argumentation, which is not very good for if you really want to have peace and quiet. Or you're always hearing a lot of loud music, like your neighbors are always playing a lot of loud music and your walls are kind of shaking. Or like loud karaoke late nights. Or that can be very annoying, and I mean that is a big factor of noise pollution. So if you are a digital nomad, or if you're doing some freelance work or something, it's very difficult for you to concentrate in that kind of environment. And also a lot of drilling going around, which you can hear. So it's not very good if you really want to focus on your work. So yeah, so the visible argumentation. Okay, the third one would be hard to find the location of your home. Okay, so say for example, you first moved in and it's very difficult for you to find the location. It's quite common out here actually in Vietnam. Is that sometimes they give you the address, the number of the house, but it's not that one. It's something. It's a different home altogether. I mean, you got to walk a bit, 2 minutes, and then that's the home or something. And this happens a lot. Like if you're booking accommodations through Airbnb, or like even Agoda or somewhere, like new accommodations or new hotels or whatever. They don't exactly give you the precise address. It's like kind of you come out there, you use a grab taxi or whatever it is, you come over there. But or sometimes the cars, they cannot go in those little alleys, so you have to walk all the way with your backpack or with your luggages, like kind of makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. But it's just that maybe that's not the location, and then you don't know Vietnamese. So you got to and then you got to contact the host, and you got to tell them, I'm out here, where are you? And then they'll come pick. Maybe they will say, oh, can you walk for 3 minutes, take this, or they'll send you some pictures of Zalo, the directions. Pretty annoying. So this happens a lot out here in Vietnam, and I've experienced this also. So it's hard to find location. So especially if you want to get grab food, like if you like, if you want to order some food or something, or Lazada, and they're not able to find your location. And this happened to me even in Hanoi. Like my Lazada guy would come and he can't find the location, but he's like I have to walk 5 minutes to meet up with that guy and collect my item. Because the address is not right, it's very hard to find the location. And especially the cars, four-wheelers, they cannot go inside those alleys, those thin alleys. Because if you're staying out here in Ho Chi Minh, there are a lot of alleys, they're very thin, and it's like very difficult to navigate through. Okay, unless and until you're a local Vietnamese person, but it's going to be very, very difficult for you. I think that's the ice cream guy. Yeah. Right. uh right, the next one would be lack of parks, or your home is very far from the nearest malls, and lack of well-maintained public spaces. So, like, if you really want to stay in a good Vietnamese neighborhood, you got to make sure that you got a nice park. Like if you're staying as a family, you got to make sure that your kid can go to the park, play around in the evenings, or like you can go for a walk at the park in the evenings, or it's easily accessible for you. You can go to the nearest malls, just sit around, go to Highland Coffee, have a sip of coffee, or just do a little bit of window shopping, or eat at the food court or something. Now, if that's going to be very far from your home here in Vietnam, then I think you're staying in a bad neighborhood, because that is going to be very difficult for you. I mean, and if especially if you're seeing that a lot of things are broken around in front of your home. I mean, in front of the location of your home, or a lot of construction work going around and making a lot of noise and everything. I remember this was in Da Nang, because like the problem with Da Nang is that that time a lot of construction was going around. even people living in condominiums, every day, morning till night, 24 hours, they would be hearing construction noises. So yeah, so that's a telltale sign that you're not in a good Vietnamese neighborhood. Okay. Now, now I'm going to be talking about personal, um, like personal feelings. Okay, as an expat. Okay, like say for example, I'm not talking about location, but I'm talking about people to people, right? Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, Vietnamese people in general are very judgmental, okay? They can judge people very fast. That's a sad reality. They judge people very fast, and it's just like, if you're staying in a tight-knit Vietnamese community, news travels very fast, okay? So, like, say if you were going to get a chick down into your place, that everybody knows about it, or what you're doing, everyone knows about it, so it's just like, managing a double-edged sword. Okay, so if you do something a bit mistake, they can look at you in a very bad negative way. Okay, and that actually makes your living in that location kind of very difficult. So yes, I have also experienced this, like, like I'm a non-white guy, right? I'm a person of color. I'm from India. I got dark brown skin. Okay, that's who I am, but sometimes, like there are instances where certain Vietnamese neighbors, they don't like your presence, maybe because of your appearance, or maybe because you're not that kind of foreigner, or maybe they'll just, have had these experiences where, like especially even over here in the countryside, where one specific neighbor, he just like gives me a dead stare, like a knife stare, like just punching through my heart, and you kind of feel shitty about it, or just a lot of stares in the neighborhood, like they look but they don't smile, or they're not saying hello or whatever. Always remember, if you're staying in a neighborhood where neighbors are always like saying hello or something, you're staying in a good Vietnamese neighborhood. Always remember that, or say, for example, you're like during the Tet holidays or during some festival, like, or maybe people drinking beer and they're inviting you, come and join. You're living in a good neighborhood. Now if you're getting isolated, and trust me, Vietnamese, there are certain Vietnamese neighbors, they are really cold, they're really nasty, and they can get really rude. I've checked that on forums. So like, you can have like these kind of subtle signs where some neighbors, they don't make eye contact with you, they're just like avoiding you, or they feel like, you shouldn't freaking exist. Or like, it's even happened to me, like a neighbor, one of the neighbor women, or I don't know, she kind of looks at me and then just immediately she goes inside, or just closing the curtains when they look at you from the other house or something. They look at you and they just close the curtains like this. So I mean, it's those little subtle signs, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. um and of course, like I said, many Vietnamese neighbors over here, they're extremely, very judgmental. They can take you in a very negative way if not balanced right. If, say, like, and there are certain neighbors, Vietnamese neighbors, who you cannot help, and they're like, sorry to say, sorry to break this up, but they're like they're racists. Okay, they maybe they don't prefer that kind of foreigner, or maybe they don't like the person, he or she's from India, or is a brown or a black guy, black foreigner or something. It's just that the mindset, and I can understand that. I don't blame that. Okay, I really don't blame that. And there are also many Vietnamese neighbors who can't speak English, and you got to manage with that. Like, just maybe use some Google Translate. I mean, if you're living in a local Vietnamese neighborhood, I'm not talking about if you're staying in a well high-end condominium, or living that kind of top-end expat lifestyle, but I'm just saying, like, living like a normal expat out here in Vietnam. So like, so just, yeah, so these are a couple of the telltale signs, like, to let you know that you're living in a bad Vietnamese neighborhood. Okay, so let me know about your personal experiences down in the comment section below. If you like watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you're traveling around in Southeast Asia and you want to start a successful online business, you can check out my income stream website link, keeping that in the description below. So, with that being said, you guys have a great day. Wishing you again a happy Tet. This is me, Joy. Peace out.